When people talk about the future of New Zealand rugby, the conversation usually starts in usual places like Auckland, Christchurch, Hamilton and Wellington. That's where most future All Blacks are expected to come from. But every now and then, a player comes from a story so different it immediately grabs attention. That's exactly what makes Anton Segner one of the most fascinating young players in New Zealand rugby right now. Because Anton Segner wasn't born into the New Zealand rugby system. He wasn't raised in a rugby mad town dreaming of Eden Park. He was born in Germany, in a country where rugby barely scratches the surface compared to football. Yet somehow, despite all of that, he has put himself in a genuine position to chase one of the hardest dreams in world sport, becoming an All Black. Anton's journey is different because it started in a place where rugby pathways simply doesn't exist at the same level. In Germany, rugby is growing, but it doesn't have the same depth, visibility or competition that New Zealand offers. That means for a talented young player, the ceiling can feel limited unless you're willing to make a huge sacrifice. Anton made a sacrifice early. As a teenager, he made the bold decision to leave Germany and move to New Zealand to attend Nelson College, a school known for developing serious rugby talent. That decision alone tells you a lot about his mindset. Most teenagers would never leave their country, their family, and everything they know to chase a dream that offers no guarantees. But Anton did, and that move completely changed the trajectory of his rugby career. Standing around 1.93 metres tall and weighing approximately 108 kilograms, Anton Segner has the physical profile modern coaches look for in a loose forward. He is the size, but not the type of size that slows him down. He's athletic, mobile and explosive, which is exactly what modern rugby demands from players in the back row. Gone are the days where loose forwards could simply be tackling machines and breakdown specialists. Now they need to carry hard, defend wide channels, compete at the breakdown, support line breaks and make quick decisions under pressure. Anton's physical frame allows him to do all of that, and that's a big reason why his development has been watched so closely. When Anton first arrived at Nelson College, the adjustment would have been massive. New Zealand schoolboy rugby is ruthless. Every weekend you're facing future professionals. Every game is physical, fast and highly competitive. But Anton adapted quickly. Coaches immediately noticed his physicality and work rate. He wasn't just big, he played with intent. His ball carrying stood out early. Strong lead drive, aggressive contact and the ability to consistently win the collision. That's a huge strength because in New Zealand rugby, loose forwards are judged heavily on their ability to create momentum through contact. That schoolboy form earned him a place in the New Zealand under-20s rugby union team, and that's where things got serious. Making the New Zealand under-20s side is one of the clearest indicators that a player is on the radar for higher honours. The competition is brutal, especially in the loose forward department, where New Zealand has always had depth. Anton didn't just make up the squad, he'd become a key contributor. Across his under-20 appearances, his numbers reflected the kind of player he was becoming. High tackle counts, strong carries, solid metres gained, and a relentless work rate. While loose forwards aren't judged purely on flashing attacking stats, Anton's ability to consistently contribute across multiple areas made him a standout. What makes Anton particularly interesting is his versatility. He can play blindside flanker, openside flanker, and even number 8. That versatility is a major strength because it increases his value to coaches. In modern rugby, being able to cover multiple positions is huge. If injuries hit, tactical plans change, or squad depth is tested. Players like Anton become incredibly valuable. It also makes him a more realistic as an All Black prospect, because selectors love players who can adapt. When the Blues signed him, it confirmed what many had suspected. Anton Segner was no longer just a promising young player. He was now part of the most competitive professional rugby systems in world rugby. Super Rugby is where talents get tested properly. It's faster, more physical, and far less forgiving than age-grade rugby. And while Anton's opportunities have been part of his development rather than full season dominance so far, every appearance has shown signs of growth. Statistically, Anton's Super Rugby numbers reflect the developing loose forward. His tackle efficiency has remained high, often sitting above the 8% mark in games where he's had meaningful minutes. That's important because defensive reliability is non-negotiable for loose forwards at the professional level. His carries per game continue to grow, and when he carries, he's effective at generating post-contact meters. That's one of his biggest strengths. He doesn't just take the ball into contact, he often wins it. That ability to bend defensive lines creates opportunities for players around him. His breakdown work is another strong part of his game. Anton is aggressive over the ball and understands timing, which is crucial. The best loose forwards don't just arrive at rucks, they arrive at the right moment. Anton has shown he understands that. He's capable of slowing opposition ball and creating turnover opportunities, which is one of the reasons coaches rate him highly. But no young player is perfect, and Anton has weaknesses too. His decision making under pressure can still improve, which is normal for a developing forward. Sometimes at Super Rugby level, the speed of the game forces young players into rush decisions, whether it's overcoming at breakdowns, forcing offloads, or missing support lines. These are the small areas that separate good players from international players. Anton is still learning that. Another area he can improve is discipline. Young loose forwards often play on emotion, and Anton is no different. His aggression is a strength, but if not controlled, it can become costly through penalties. At the highest level, discipline matters massively because international referees punish repeat breakdown infringements quickly. Line-up presence is another area where growth could help him. At his height, Anton has the physical tools to become a strong line-out option. He can already contribute there, but becoming elite in that area would make him even more valuable. Players like Ardie Savea have shown that versatility and complete skill sets matters in the All Blacks selection. And that's where the biggest challenge comes in: competition. New Zealand loose forward stocks are ridiculous. Players like Ardie Savea, Sammy Penifino, Luke Jacobson and Wallace Atiti and emerging younger players mean Anton's pathway won't be easy. That's probably the biggest obstacle in his All Blacks dream. It's not whether he's good enough to play professional rugby, he clearly is. It's whether he can become better than the players already ahead of him. That's the brutal reality of New Zealand rugby. In some countries, Anton Segner might already be playing Test rugby. In New Zealand, he's still fighting for consistency at franchise level. That's not criticism, it's simply the standard here. The All Blacks don't select on potential, they select on performance. What makes Anton's story more interesting is the nationality angle. He remains one of the rare examples of a player born outside the traditional rugby nations coming through the New Zealand elite system. He could have gone down a different road. Germany would have embraced him. International rugby might have come faster. But Anton stayed committed to New Zealand rugby. That decision says everything about his belief in himself. He didn't choose the easy route. He chose the hardest. And that choice is what makes people pay attention. Because if he makes it, it becomes one of the most unique All Black stories we've seen. A German-born loose forward earning the black jersey through the toughest rugby pathway in world rugby. That's powerful. What Anton needs now is game time. That's the biggest thing. More minutes, more starts, more chances to influence games. Young forwards develop through repetition, and if he gets that, the growth could accelerate quickly. His physical tools are already there. His work rate is already there. His attitude is clearly there. The question is whether the opportunities will come at the right time. The question now is simple. Can Anton Segner actually become an All Black, or will the competition prove too strong? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share and subscribe for more rugby stories, player breakdowns and future All Blacks content just like this. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace!